Yeah, interesting. Monika shows up there. And of course, Monika breaks the fourth wall there a little bit because Monika is still self-aware here. In Purist. She just plays along. Alright, finally, the day of the festival has arrived. I take a moment to let it all sink in on the way to school. I was finally involved in something, a real school festival. Maybe I can finally do some... Hey, Mark! The moment is shattered. I see Sayori practically bouncing off the pavement with a huge spring in her step. Her smile could have lit up half the street. It was relieving to see that Sayori was indeed doing alright. Come on, Mark, where's your enthusiasm? Today's the big day. Your happiness is infectious. I can't help but crack a smile. Hey, I'm plenty excited. I just don't jump as much as you do. Sayori simply opts to stick her tongue out in response. She bounces off towards school, clearly not letting me slow her down. I find myself smiling, still despite technically being left behind. It's always nice to see Sayori in such a bubbly mood. As I trek to school, my mind resumes its wandering. I think back to when I joined the club, which feels much longer ago than it actually was. I think about all my fellow club members, Sayori, Natsuki, Monika. My mind lingers on Yuri. The time we spent reading together, the moments we've shared, we even worked together for this festival over the weekends. It hits me just now how I had enjoyed spending time with her. How much I had enjoyed spending time with her. She was so quiet, and yet, when she got passionate about something, it was endearing. Also, I do wonder, when they say, yeah, time we spent reading together, the moments we've shared, and we even worked together on the festival. Does that dialogue change depending on which choices you make? Because, technically I could write 3 Natsuki poems and then choose to help Yuri at the festival. Of course, then I guess I would be on the Natsuki, right? So, I would be writing... so what if I write 3 Yuri poems or 2 Yuri poems? But then decide to help Natsuki at the festival? Will then it also say, even though we didn't work together at the festival or something, my mind still wanders to Yuri? Does that dialogue actually change? Or are they just assuming that as long as you go on the Yuri route, you do everything? Like you write all the poems for Yuri and then you also spend the weekend with Yuri? And then they just assume that that's how it's going to go, and then they wrote this, kind of hoping that you never notice. That may be something I'm going to check out for after I'm done playing with all the routes and whatever, just in the final episode. Or maybe like after the Yuri route is over, maybe. Just really quickly checking that out. It hits me just now how much I had enjoyed spending time with her. She was so quiet, and yet when she got passionate about something, it was endearing. Plus she's cute. I chuckle with a goofy grin on my face, feeling a bit silly at my own musings. As I near the school, my head swims with possibilities of the day and the festival ahead. The school is already abuzz with activity when I arrive. Other students are scrambling around, frantically trying to set up the stands for their respective clubs. Thankfully, it looked like we had the room to ourselves for the literature club. All the better for showing off the decorations Yuri and I had poured all our hard work into. Are we finally going to learn what Yuri writes on the banner? Because so far, in every mod that has included the stuff from the original game where you work on the banner, none of them have actually shown what the inspirational quote on the banner is. As soon as I enter the classroom, I am greeted by Sayori bounding up to me. Her expression contains a curious mix of bubbly excitement and mock annoyance in the way I imagine only Sayori could conjure. She almost immediately lays into me. Come on, Mark, you're the last one here. We've all been waiting for you for ages. Looking past her, it seems like I was indeed the last one to arrive. Natsuki glares at me, no doubt judging me. Monika wears her usual smile and gives a little wave. Yuri fidgets with some small decorations, avoiding my gaze. A brief flicker of fear fills me with theories on why she wouldn't possibly want to look at me, but I swiftly assure myself I was just overthinking something stupid. I return my attention to Sayori. But you couldn't start the work without me? I raise an eyebrow. Honestly, we all got here not too long ago. We just thought it'd be funny to tease you a little bit about being the last one to show up. Where's your festival spirit, Mark? Come on, come help us. She dashes back across the classroom so fast that I can't hear my retaliatory grumbling. Well, someone has to be the last to show up anyway, right? I shrug and make my way to where the rest of the girls were standing. All were gathered around a group of desks pushed together to hold everything that we had brought for the festival. Natsuki had baked an impressive amount of cupcakes, and their bright design was certainly tantalizing. She catches me surveying the sweets and shoots me a look that says, "I'll bite your hand off if you bite into one of those." Monika begins the proceedings with a cheerful smile. Okay everyone, now that we are all here, we can go over our plans for today. Is everyone ready to show the school why the literature club is worth joining? We meet her call to action with a resounding "yeah" alongside raised fist. Even Yuri, not normally one to raise her voice, let out a rousing cheer. I too can feel myself catching the festival fever, the excitement of this morning returning in full force. Here I am, a representative of the club I had grown to enjoy, surrounded by people I could call my friends. It's a nice feeling. I have no doubts that the others felt something similar given their enthusiasm. Monika claps her hands together to signal the imminent rundown. Now then, we have a lot to do. First things first, is everyone ready to give their poem performance later today? I gulp. I had prepared as well as I could, but of course, but the thought of it all is still nerve-wracking. The other girls give an affirmative nod, and I soon realize that they are looking at me expectantly. I had gotten a bit lost in worrying about my poem. I find myself unconsciously looking to Yuri for support. I notice a bit of a flustered blush, but this time she holds her eye contact with me. If she could overcome her quiet disposition to perform in front of people, I could get over my nerves. I turn to Monika and give my thumbs up. Absolutely. Excellent. Now then, Yuri, Mark, I need you two to take care of your decorations. They look wonderful, and I'm sure you two will know the best how to arrange them to liven up the room. Yuri and I give Monika a simultaneous nod of acknowledgement. Natsuki, you can handle the cupcake station. Sayori, you can be with me closer to the door. We'll answer any questions people have about the club as they come by. This time Sayori and Natsuki nod. With the positions agreed upon, we all break off to our respective duties. Yuri and I gather the decorations on the desk and set about filling the walls with our handiwork. The process reminds me of an assembly line, or Yuri's does rather. With measured, precise movements, she finds the best spot for each decoration. It was clear that she had thought of these arrangements ahead of time. Comparatively, I work at a snail's pace, unsure of what looked best where. Unlike Yuri, I lack an eye for this sort of thing. Yuri seems almost in a trance while working. Gone were her normally timid movements, replaced by an immense assuredness. The work is largely silent. On one hand, I want to talk to Yuri more, but on the other hand, I would hate to break her concentration. I decide to take the risk. Hey, Yuri? The unexpected verbal probing catches the poor girl off guard. She gives a small start and dropped the decoration she was pinning to the wall, like I had broken her out of a hypnosis. I feel bad initially, but she seems to relax a bit when she realizes it was just a friendly question and turns to me. Oh, sorry Mark, I was just caught up in work. She pauses a bit to pick up the decoration she had dropped. What is it, Mark? I was just wondering how you felt about your poem performance today. Well, I practiced a whole lot this weekend. I just hope everybody likes the poem I selected. It might be kind of weird, even outlandish. I'm sure it'll be great. Anyone who can't see the beauty and quality of your poems isn't worth worrying about. I give a genuine smile to assure her further. She reddens a little at the compliment, but returns the smile sheepishly. I decided at this moment that this sight alone made it worth taking the risk. Thank you, Mark. Really, that means a lot to me. Is your poem preparation going well? The worry creeps back into a lump in my throat. I sure hope so. I practice a lot, and I like to think I did all I could to prepare, but the doubt never really goes away in this sort of with this sort of thing, does it? I suppose not. I'm sure that you'll also do well. You've made a lot of progress since joining the club. Her warm smile was eminently reassuring. We'll both just have to put our best foot forward. Absolutely. We both nod and resume decorating. Reinvigorated after the impromptu pep talk, the conversation ultimately wasn't much, but it had me glowing for a good while. Eventually, the room was properly decorated. I'd like to think that I helped a little, but Yuri ended up doing most of it. I mainly held the larger things in place for her as she attached them to the wall, held a handful of them so she didn't have to go back and forth, that sort of thing. Regardless, the room looks much livelier with everything pinned up. I feel a sense of pride as I survey the room, noticing how the decoration that Yuri and I had made really pulled the room together. Satisfied with our work, we opt to help the other club members with their stations as the students begin to roll in from the festival. The day whirled by. A surprising number of students dropped by, curious about the literature club, or at least about Natsuki's charming cupcakes. I couldn't really blame anyone stopping in just in for the pastries, they were amazing. Eventually, Monika steps up to the front of the room to call everyone to attention. It doesn't look like we're going to get an answer yet again about what the inspirational quote is going to be. Fuck me, man. I've got over 300 episodes of Doki Doki Literature Club spread out across I don't know how many mods, and never in a single one have we figured out what the inspirational quote on the banner is. What the inspirational quote on the banner was that Yuri put up. I want to know. Like, it's not really that it matters all that much what the quote is, but, you know, I want to know, like, I want to know what the mod maker comes up with or whatever, you know? Like, they need to think of something. I wonder what they thought, what they came up with. What they thought, oh, this would make sense for Yuri to say or whatever, you know? But no, for over 300 videos, tons and tons and tons of different Doki Doki mods, not a single one has made up any effort to fucking even make up something. Pathetic. Eventually, Monika steps up to the front of the classroom to call everyone to attention. Hello everyone! We hope you are enjoying everything the Literature Club has to offer at this festival. We will now have our special event, a poetry recital from our very own club members. Isn't that exciting? I know that many of the meandering students were terribly interested in poetry, but they are taken in by Monika's charisma and enthusiastically clap regardless. Also, also another thing that I never have never seen. Monika says that she put on the posters that other people could write a poem beforehand and join and whatever, you know? I mean, of course, in all the festival things, nobody ever really joins, but it would be really cool if somebody wrote a poem too to perform at the festival as well. Because that would be an interesting take, whether somebody just added your... Maybe you can even make it so, like, it's a bit... You have to sort of, like, revert it a little bit, but make it so that one of the original girls joins that way or whatever, you know? Like, maybe Natsuki joins that way. The Literature Club is only Monika, Sayori, and Yuri, and then MC when he joins. And then Natsuki joins through the festival, because she prepared a poem beforehand, like the poster said, and then that's how you get introduced to Natsuki in a different version or whatever. Or introduce an OC character that way. Or, I mean, it doesn't even necessarily have to be somebody that joins. It could always be somebody that maybe joins, and then something happens, and then that makes them reconsider or something, so you're still left with the original 5. You know, but nobody's ever done that either in a mod, where somebody actually prepares, at least, well, in the... I haven't played every Doki Doki mod on the planet, obviously, so there may be one out there, but in all the ones that I have played, none of them have ever done that, so that seems like something that nobody has done before so far. Great! Each of our members, including yours truly, has prepared a special poem to recite to you all. Please give them your undivided attention as they perform. Sayori, if you could start us off, please. It occurs to me that I was never told the order that we would be presenting our poems. I just hope that I won't go I just hope I won't have to go directly after a stunning poem. Until I realized that all of them were likely to be better than mine. Oh well. Thus the girls performed their poems to the crowds that had gathered in the literature club room. Sayori's is charming and light-hearted, leaving the audience in adoration. Natsuki's is deceptively simple, but still well received. And Monika draws in the audience with her performance. She's definitely stolen the show so far. which is unfortunate for me as I am up next. That was going to be a tough act to follow. I take my place at the front, the other club members seated before me among the other students who had stayed thus far, and I perform my poem. A couple stumbles here and there, but I think it was solid overall, for my level anyway. I get a modest round of applause to validate my efforts, but the smiles from my friends in the literature club really solidify it. Oh, is Yuri going to mess up her poem? I really hope not. Satisfied, I take my seat as Yuri gets up to take her turn. I give her an encouraging nod as she stands to face the audience. Without much delay, she begins her performance. I had seen instances of it before, but it still amazes me how much Yuri changes in moments like these, where she is truly in her element. Gone were the stutters and the pauses in her normal speech, replaced by flowing elegance. Her poem is starkly different from the ones previous, being much more somber and enigmatic. I sit enraptured by the contrast and Yuri's spellbinding execution. Yuri finishes the poem, the audience is silent at first, and I could hardly blame them with how stunned I myself feel. I'm the fastest to recover as I stand up and begin clapping, the other club members soon following suit and the rest of the audience. Even a standing ovation didn't cut it in my opinion, but it is the least that we could offer. Okay, so the festival actually went pretty well, all things considered. Monika motions to me, Sayori and Natsuki to join her at the front of the classroom and take a bow. After all the applause dies down, she addresses the attendees. Thank you all for stopping by to see us. We hope you enjoyed what the Literature Club has to offer, and we hope that just that as much that you all will consider joining us. She ends with another bow. Much of the audience takes this as their cue to go check out the other clubs, some grabbing a cupcake on their way out. Our club venture is safely classified as a success. I muse aloud to the girls of the club. You know, I bet none of the other clubs had something as awesome as this. Would you like to go confirm that? Monika's offer surprises me. Yeah, but you don't need... I think we can handle things here. That was our main event, after all, and I doubt that we'll have much more traffic in this late in the day. A quick glance at the clock makes me realize how quickly time had flown by. There is indeed not that much time left before the end of the festival. In fact, I bet Yuri would enjoy seeing what else is going on too, don't you think? Alright, thanks Monika, fucking wing-womaning me. She deserves it after that wonderful performance. The rest of us can handle the stragglers and the cleanup. Monika looks at us all expectantly for a response. Yuri and I are both caught wildly off guard and mentally scramble for a response. Sayori doesn't skip a beat. She grins mischievously at me. I think that's a great idea, Monika. The two were working so hard all day that with those decorations, after all, they can go relax together. Natsuki, in sharp contrast, rolls her eyes. Ugh! It's not any work to bake. Like it's not any work to bake and bring in all these cupcakes, but fine, I guess. I almost taste the bitterness she exuded, but I appreciate the blessings nonetheless. I study Monika's expression to see if I could make sense of this proposition, but I find nothing further I could discern from her usual smile. Well, I wasn't going to complain at any rate. Monika claps her hands together. Looking pleased with herself, she turns to me. It's settled then. You and Yuri can set off to explore the rest of the festival together while we clean up. I hope you enjoy yourselves. I feel like my brain ceases to function for a moment. I stand stupefied by this outcome as I try to process what happened. Did Monika really just set me up with Yuri? Did she plan this? I'm snapped out of my thoughts by Yuri, who had come up beside me. I think it'll be fun. You don't mind accompanying me, do you? Oh, no, not at all. Why would I? I can tell my flustered state only amuses Monika further. I am torn between wanting to thank her and wanting to become invisible. Yuri and I make it to the doorway of the classroom before she stops and turns around to me. Is she blushing? Blushing? What's up? I would hate to lose you in these crowded halls. That's fucking adorable. Huh? They don't seem that crowded. I stop myself as I look down and realize Yuri is stretching out her hand, blushing furiously to avoid eye contact. I'm pretty sure I can make out what sounds like Sayori giggling in the background at my ineptitude. Of course, Yuri and I had our close moment before, but this, well, I can't afford to think too long here. I gingerly take her hand in mine. You're right, this way. We won't get separated. We set off together to explore the festivities, with a friendly wave from Monika. That's pretty adorable. Although, you know, you could have made like a whole bunch of different reasons for... It's a bit weird that Monika... I mean, of course, Monika is obviously wing-womaning us here, but, you know, like you could mask it a little bit better. Maybe Monika saying, oh, you should hand out flyers or something. I mean, Monika's logic still makes sense. Like, oh, the main event is over. The only people that will come by will just be people that, you know, walk past... You know, see the doorway curtain and then walk in. But so I mean, ergo, you guys should walk around the festival, like handing out flyers, talking people to visit the literature club to come take a look. And then she just very randomly decides to choose the MC and Yuri. You know, that would make more sense. It feels very, very awkward. I mean, again, it makes sense in the sense that Monika is wing-womaning us right here. But I felt like they could have masked that a bit better. Give a bit more of an in-world explanation for why MC and Yuri end up walking the festival grounds together, you know? With what I just said, you know, maybe you hand out flyers or just talk to people to come visit the literature club, or maybe something else. Maybe there's another part of the festival that they thought up, like like one of those boards that you can wear with some text on them, with something literature related, just to grab people's attention. And when they come talk to the person wearing it, like I'm wearing it, and maybe there's like a very thought-provoking question on it, or something, or an opinion of a famous book that essentially everybody has already read. And then Yuri is next to me, like I'm wearing the boards or whatever, and then or the sign or whatever you want to call it. And then Yuri is standing next to me with like a pen and paper or whatever. And then the point is to sort of grab attention from people, and then they walk over to us, or we strike up a conversation with students in the hallway, sort of to gauge their interest in literature or whatever, you know, which could cause an interesting conversation. And obviously at the end, me and Yuri would then suggest, hey, why don't you check out the literature club? And then Yuri would hand out the flyer. So it's there and there, it's that classroom, meetings are on these days. This is the stuff that we do. If you like literature, come check it out. Something like that. And then, you know, Monika just so happens to very randomly choose MC and Yuri for this task. Or something like that. That would be fun. It makes a bit more sense than Monika just randomly saying, oh, hey, by the way, you two lovebirds can go ahead and explore the festival together. Yuri and I returned to a club room that is empty, much to our surprise. The festival was over, and we had come back expecting to help everybody finish cleaning up, but it looks like the majority of the work has already been finished. Had everyone else gone home already? I catch sight of a note lying on the nearby desk. I pick it up and it's from Monika? I look back at Yuri, who seems just as surprised as I am. With a shrug, I read the note aloud. Dear Yuri and Mark, we hope that you two were able to enjoy your afternoon together. Don't worry about us, we just all had things we needed to take care of at home. Sorry to leave you on such short notice. P.S. While you're here, if you don't mind taking down your own decorations. So, was this just Monika getting us to clean up in the end anyway? Well, I don't mind. It's the least that we could do after getting to enjoy the festival. Again, why did we not... That's weird. We didn't even get to see what MC and Yuri get up to at the festival. With Sayori, I mean, of course, it was mostly about the horrible performance, and then Sayori and me just sort of talking it out and helping each other out and whatever. It wasn't really actually seeing much of the festival itself. But yeah, we did spend the festival together, in a sense. So it's a bit unfortunate that we just cut all of that stuff from Yuri from Yuri's mouth. Like, oh yeah, they spent the festival together. Right, now here is afterward. Like, come on, man. Give me Yuri and me walking the festival to grounds and doing something. Bit stupid that they cut that out, but okay. Yeah, fair enough. We do owe them after today. Yuri nods in agreement and immediately sets about removing the decorations. Figures that she wouldn't want to waste time, but there's more I want to talk to her about. I take my place next to her and assist in taking down the decorations, which is thankfully simpler than putting them up. Hey, Yuri, The rest of the sentence gets caught in my throat. Yuri turns towards me with an inquisitive look on her face. Moments pass as I try to compose myself and articulate exactly what I want to say. My stomach churns from the nerves, but nothing concrete is coming. I find it hard to maintain eye contact. Mark? I had a lot of fun with you today. Yuri smiles, but seems slightly flustered by the compliment. Oh, I had a lot of fun today with you as well. Thank you for... Her face takes a shade of crimson. For accompanying me. I can feel the color of my face mimicking hers. Anytime. That's the best I can do? Come on, there's more I want to say, damn it. Say, Yuri, why do I have to be tripping over my words now? Yuri's gaze is soft but attentive. She's waiting for me to finish. I think back on earlier today. The chance we got to spend time together. I only now realize that it's magnitude. The striking timid Yuri, of all people. She asked me to hold her hand. Sure, it felt like we were set up by the rest of the club, but it still takes immense courage to follow through. I can't imagine how straining that must have been for Yuri to put herself out there like that. I owe her at least that much in return. I take a deep breath. I'd like to spend more time with you, as more than... Yuri takes me by surprise and interjects before I can finish. I would love that, Mark. I'm caught speechless. I expected to say more, but given her furious blushing, I hazard to guess she's facing the same verbal roadblock as I am. But if she does that mean... Before I realize, I break into a smile. Partly out of disbelief, she matches my smile. My heartbeat is racing. We draw closer as if on instinct. We say nothing, and yet we fall into each other's embrace. Time stands still in this moment. Everything feels right. Just for a second, the only thing in the world that matters is the two of us. I don't know how long we held the hug, but that wasn't important. We begrudgingly broke from each other's arms and faced each other once more. Another moment of silence. But it doesn't feel awkward. We understand each other. Nothing more needs to be said. Alright, well, it's a bit faster than with Sayori, essentially. It's a bit unexpected. Yeah, okay. I'll end off the episode here. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Walete.